Dear Simon and the festively forgiving faction, this time of year, I'm burdened with the guilt of Christmas 1985. I feel I can only fulfil festive frivolities and frolics if I confess the sins of Yuletide past. Our house back then was in Exmouth in Devon and was painted bright pink with brown windowsills. We certainly stood out amongst all the other brick and pebble-dashed houses on the street. And to make us stand out even more, my mum had decided to treat herself to one of those fancy musical doorbells, which played up to 10 different tunes, from Jingle Bells...
Wow.
Imagine that when someone comes round. From Jingle Bells to, for example, Green Sleeves. Someone's at the door.
Not Christmassy.
No, I'm just it plays a variety.
Oh, right.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Don't be too fussy. December came round and it was time to decorate the pink and brown house. I can't understand why anyone would want a pink and brown house anyway.
Sounds out.
Sounds fine. Wooden windows, nice and pink.
Oh, right.
Quite right,
Yes,
Bobby.
now I'm particularly thinking now a pink and brown house, that would be a really lovely thing.
Yeah.
Yes, well done.
In Suffolk, there are lots of pink houses.
Yeah. What are you
with a bit of
thinking?
brown. I don't know what I'm thinking. Anyway, it was time to decorate the pink and brown house, which everybody loves and everybody admires. So the old Christmas tree was brought down from the loft. It was a sorry-looking 6-foot silver tinsel tree, which after all the years had lost most of its tinsel, and was simply a tower of deadly metal spikes, which we lovingly hung baubles on. I'm quite sure this was the same year I electrocuted myself on the Christmas tree lights, having poked my fingers into the bayonet socket. So I'm sure this could partially be responsible for my following behaviour. Can I just say that's one of the many things in this confession that you don't want to try that.
Do not do that.
That would be utterly ridiculous and stupid. I would have been about 9 at the time and giddy with excitement at the thought of school holidays, Santa's impending visit, filling my face with pigs in blankets, soda stream pop, and apparently the odd stolen dreg of a snowball while sat at the smallest seat on the corner of the dining table. But again, that's
We
just
don't
one of those
condone that.
things that is sort of absolutely...
No.
I woke on Christmas Day and gathered my brother and sisters to open up our presents together. Despite my present not being in the shape of Castle Greyskull, a trumpet or Millennium Falcon, I was nonetheless happy to unwrap a Casio monophonic electric keyboard. I mean, what child doesn't want to rock out to a sassy samba or a racy rumba beat?
Oh, I love this. Yes.
Yeah, look at my present that I've got here. It was a model number PT10, I know because I've still got it, and this fantastic piece of kit had a demo button, 29 keys, 4 preset sounds and 10 auto rhythms. You know, like this.
Sounds like the same one.
It is, exactly. It is.
Oh.
I've only got one.
Okay.
It also had a function which allowed you to record your own tunes. All of Christmas Day I spent learning new songs to play, in between selling my bag of fun-sized Mars bars to my siblings from my makeshift shop on the landing. Right, okay, so we've got the picture. Boxing Day came, and inevitably the excitement of the big day began to fade, as we then started welcoming in family members who we hadn't seen since the previous Boxing Day. Boredom soon set in, but I still had my Casio keyboard to play with. I know, I thought to myself, I could learn all of the songs that the doorbell plays and record a different one each day. Bedtime soon came around, and restless from the excitement of Christmas and probably a snowball dreg or two, I decided to quietly creep downstairs, skillfully avoiding all the squeaky floorboards, and play one of my recordings just outside the lounge door. Something like this. Who the heck is that at the door at 9:30? Shouts my dad. I heard him get up in a fury and make his way from his seat out of the lounge, then on towards the front door, interrupting the Mind a Christmas special.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, this was an era when you couldn't pause the TV. Imagine that.
Imagine.
Different times. I quickly but stealthily darted up the stairs and back into my bed, very pleased that I had fooled everyone into thinking there was someone at the door. Well, that worked well, thought to myself. So the next day, I recorded another tune from the doorbell and again crept downstairs and pressed play. Who's there at the door again? Who keeps doing that every night? Hollers my dad. Again, I swiftly run up the stairs like a Christmas ninja, back into my bed as my dad charged to the door in a rage to find no one there again. I pretended to be asleep as calls from the other bedrooms were heard. Who was it, Dad? Who's coming round? Cried my sisters, followed by, no one, go back to sleep. He's angry.
Yeah.
He's downstairs, you could tell. It was very hard fighting off slumber until my older brother and sisters had fallen asleep, waiting for my parents to sit down with a glass of Taboo or Mirage each night.
Imagine this, everyone.
What was were they like kind of...
two different drinks that were a little alcoholic, from what I remember.
Quite sweet and sugary,
Yeah.
but yes, they tasted of hangovers.
Are they still around?
Well, if they are, I apologise for that, but...
Anyway, that's what they're doing. They've got a glass of Taboo or Mirage, and I was committed. I wasn't intending on stopping this nightly tirade of tuneful terror anytime soon. And this, I have to tell you, Father Simon, went on for several weeks in total. Each night, my dad becoming more enraged at the idiot ringing the doorbell and then seemingly vanishing without trace before he could get to the door. Dad suspected everybody. The vicar, random missionaries, ragamuffins from the bad end of town, and Mr. Crowthorne from number 27, who'd taken a dislike to on account of his perm. Eventually, he had to give up after failing to identify the culprit, and I could see it had actually slightly broken him. So, Father Simon, at this time of year when we are more inclined to forgive, I ask for mercy from my mum and dad, because they don't know about this, for ruining what is usually the best part of Christmas for parents, a peaceful evening, watching Christmas specials, kids in bed, calmly sitting down to relax with a drink after the madness of the holidays and not wanting to hear this. Who's at the door again? Also, after further forgiveness is sought from my dad, who as the man of the house was the one responsible for answering the doorbell so late at night. I feel bad for his constant need to get up and off his chair, especially as he only has one leg, so probably could have done without trying to catch the phantom doorbell botherer. To this day, he's
how did this sneak in at the end?
Right at the end.
What?
Punchline at the end.
Yeah.
To this day, he still doesn't
only got
know the
one
truth.
leg.
And I fear it's haunted him for 30 years.
Right.
Do I have to get up again?
I've only got the one leg.
Anyway. Okay. So it's it's going to be a tricky one, I suspect. But let's see how it's breaking out here with the collective here. Lindsay brackets Mayo would like the forgiveness, but let's see how Lindsay's getting on here with Sister Bobby.
A proper stealth-like mission. Well done for carrying it off for so long and him not guessing. I'm surprised, actually, with your dad's intellect and intelligence, that he hadn't worked it out that something extra was going on, because there were actually only 10 tunes in the what's it called? The
doorbell.
Yeah, the doorbell. That's it, that thing.
Yeah.
So suddenly there became more, and you got this kind of organ. So I'm surprised that your dad didn't suss you. Actually, I love this. Great hijinks, and even though your dad had to get up, everyone needs some exercise over Christmas. So you are absolutely
Well, that's one way of looking at it.
forgiven.
Nigel.
Well, I was
Although you only turned up halfway through.
So I know the story. I heard it in the lift. Basically, I think the fact is a Casio a monophonic electric keyboard. That's pretty impressive for a start. Obviously, the one leg isn't great, but Dad, he didn't like random missionaries, ragamuffins from the bad end of town, or Mr. Crowthorne because he'd taken against his perm. Yeah, so I think. Well, I quite like perms. So you're not... yes, you are, Lindsay. You are forgiven.
Could go either way.
Yeah, no, you're forgiven. You're forgiven.
Perfect crime, really. I mean, no one's hurt here, apart from Dad with his one leg having to constantly get up and leave his bottle of Taboo on the side. I love the fact that the vicar was top of his list of suspects, followed by missionaries.
Again?
It'll be the clerical lot. That'll be the reason why the doorbell keeps going off. And also, it's good news that we didn't actually play a doorbell sound, because that gets so many. We get so many emails. Not that. Don't play that. Many complaints.
Dogs go bonkers, don't they?
They do. So don't stop doing the doorbell sound effects. So I'm going to